coaching, right, as part of my degree in music, and I do have an associate's degree in music. I'm pretty proud of that, actually, right? I got an associate's degree in music. I never went for the bachelor's, but that associate's, right, it took me, right, if I told you how many years it took me to get it, right, you wouldn't believe it. But it just goes to show, right, that an old man can go back to school. I remember, right, when I went back, it was about 10 years ago, I was an old man then. But, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, I completely forgot what I was going to say. But, you ever, right, was talking to somebody and you forgot their name? All right, so let me just go over, right, to what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk, right, about, if I remember right what I was talking about, I'll try to remember. My friend Francis says, right, I'm a riot on TV. I don't know, right, if that was a riot, right, forgetting, right, what I was saying, but, Francine, I hope you're paying attention out there. And, of course, Jonathan. Let me just talk a little bit, right, about this, now I know, right, what I was going to say. I was going to say, right, that when I was doing, right, my volunteer, I would do, like, part of my education was volunteering, right, at some of the high schools to coach the kids. And I was producing, right, these, like, little tapes that I would give the kids as part of the lessons in terms of total realization of potential of ideas. And I would take, like, one idea and I would literally do, like, a whole 90 minutes worth of the idea. That's what I'm going to kind of give you guys today. Now I remember what I was saying. If we're 1 and 2 E and da. Now it's kind of funny, right? Because the first part, right, of this idea 58, that was the original idea, by the way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E. Now, since that, the right, was the original idea, if I take that 1 and 2 so now I'm adding 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 1 and 2 and 3. The key for that single 4 is total articulation. Articulation meaning very, very sharply played, really, really clean, right in that pocket, you know. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the concentration is really getting it into the time that it's supposed to fall. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And of course, all right, as I embellish it and then pick it up a little bit, it's actually easier to do for me a little quicker because I tend to throw it. 1 and 2 and I think one of the things I want you guys to experiment with, and girls out there that are drumming, experiment, right, with different tempos on philosophies. Don't necessarily, right, stay with one particular level. Now, the next thing, right, that I wanted to do with that E and da is I wanted to talk a little bit about the E and da in the regular Bonham tradition. Now, the way that John would play the regular 4 and da was very similar to what I started with yesterday. 1 and 2 E, the 3 and 2 E, 1. So there, right, the 4 and the 1 kind of resolves, right, a little bit more normally in the sense that the 4 and the 1 kind of brings you back. If you guys are making a recording and you want, the producer is sort of telling you that, say, possibly this part is a little bit too much, all right, in the mix, and it's not really gisting, right, with the other ensemble players, of 4 and da will solve that problem, and you probably won't get that look from the producer, and it fits a little bit more logically into the groove. It's really a matter, I think, right, of economics in terms of what's going on. Let me just interject by saying that I'm interjecting myself. I like that. If the bass player is doing as I talked about yesterday, then, all right, it would really, really be appropriate. But if the bass player is not doing anything like that and the ensemble is just grooving straight along, this, there 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Well, I don't know if you guys caught this, but I changed around from 1 and 2 3 to 1 and 2 If you guys caught the right last season and the season before, I talked a little bit about that in the Bonzo snippets. 1 and 2 eat 3 and 4 eat 1. 1 and 2 eat the 3 and 4 eat the 1. If you're just starting out alright in your coordinative technique, the 2 and da is identical to the 4 e and da. 1 and 2 eat the 3 and 4 eat the 1. They fit perfectly into one another. And in sound, so, where do I want to go right now? The more I think about the, I want to give you guys a little bit of an interesting seminar in displacement. And I think this will be a really, really great conclusion to today's first file, actually, of the season, because we're going to be doing a lot of displacement. On the da of 2. And 1 and 2 and da. And 1 and 2 and da. Now, if I were to actually, literally focus on that da, and 1 and 2, and let that da literally take everything that's going on the 3 totally out. In other words, clear the 3. And I'm going to be talking about this in the genetic funk files at the end of the season, which are the conclusion to every season, and probably the Mike Clark revisited file, probably in the GAD stuff I'm going to talk about this, that when you accent on a da, usually on the 2 or on the 4, but you clear the beat that's after it, from a philosophical point of view, that creates a displacement, and that also too creates the da almost substitutes for the 4 beat for the beat that it's going to follow. That made a lot of sense. So basically, you're basically 1 and 2. Now watch what happens. The next beat that I'm going to go into is the 4th beat. So I'm clearing the 3 for now. Not totally, but right for now. And 1 and 2. 4 and go a little slower so you can really hear the space. And 1 and 2 and nothing. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3. 1 and 2 and nothing. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 1. It's kind of fun because it gives you the challenge of following the 3 but not playing on the 3. And 1 and 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice that I did something there. And 1 and 2, 4, 1. The guy's calling and asked me to write a little bit about that. That's a left-handed buzz.